Warning: the following video might contain content that might not be suitable for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. I've been a fan of the Sonic series for as long as I can remember. Ever since I played my all-time favorite game, Sonic Adventure 2, I was hooked. I fell in love with the characters. They're all very likable to me, especially my all-time favorite dark, hedgy name, Shadow. Shadow is the one character I can somewhat relate to in a way. We both lost someone close to us. My mother died in a car accident when she was on her way home from work 10 years ago. Some drunken bastard drove past the speed limit and T-boned her, killing her instantly. I hated that man for what he did, just like how Shadow hated Gun for killing Maria Robotnik. When I got my hands on the GameCube copy of a game called Shadow the Hedgehog, I was excited. I got it from my mom for my 15th birthday before she died a couple nights ago. A couple of nights later, she knew I wanted it so badly, and she decided to get it so we could play together. We tried the two-player mode for the game. Its controls, I admit, were kind of slippery, but we didn't care. We were having so much fun playing against each other. We laughed at each other's accidental deaths, and after a while, we got used to the controls. It may not be the best Sonic game, but we had a lot of fun playing, so it had its flaws. On that night when I found out my mother died, I was really upset. I was crying all night and wished that the whole thing was a horrible dream, but it wasn't. It was real. Filled with anger and sadness, I had to play through the Shadow Hedgehog story mode. I took as many dark missions as I could complete. Imagine, I want to make Shadow a hero first. I even told my mother this, and she agreed. But now I want to lay out my rage. I played the game almost every night. I wanted to complete it as a villain. I wanted to kill the gun soldiers and help Black Doom. On the day I finally completed the dark story, I chose. When I listened to its end credits song, Almost Dead, I heard a knock on my bedroom door. I went and opened it to see my father with a package. "Some girl wanted me to give you this," my brother said as he handed me the package. I looked at it in confusion. "Well, are you gonna open it?" "Who is the girl that wanted you to give this to me?" I asked him. He shrugged. She said she's one of your classmates. I blinked and looked at the package again, feeling even more confused. I opened the package. Inside of it were three things: a small Sonic X Shadow Hedgehog plushie, a white GameCube memory card, and a note. I took out the note as it read the following. "Hello, Derek. My name is Ria. I'm one of your classmates from science class. I heard what happened to your mom, and I'm truly sorry for what happened to her. I know we never really spoken to each other before, but I really wanted to make you feel better. Hope you like the gifts, and I hope that we could hang out sometime after school. Take care, Ria." Her writing seemed kind of messy. It looks as if she was nervous while writing the note to me. I didn't notice that my father was smirking at me. "Seems like you got yourself an admirer, son," he said it with a chuckle. I blushed madly as I shoved him out of my room and closed the door behind me. Feeling rather embarrassed. I know I'm like the best student in my science class, according to my teacher, but I never thought that a girl would get interest in someone like me. I'm not an athlete, not to mention I'm skinny and almost weak as a kitten. Well, not that weak. I was quite surprised that someone would go out of their way to try to make me feel better. Then I saw something on the back of the note. It was a cell phone number. Curiosity got the better of me as I dialed the number on my phone. It started ringing for a few seconds before someone picked it up. "Hello?" A sweet, young, beautiful voice spoke. Hello? This is Derek. Are you Ria?" I asked nervously. The voice got a little bit quietly, almost as if it was shy and a bit nervous as well. "This is she. Hello, Derek. Do you like the plushie?" Yes, I do actually. Thank you very much." "You're very welcome," Ria said quietly. We've been talking for almost 5 minutes before she had to go eat dinner. Turned out that she was also a fan of Shadow the Hedgehog, that she used to have her own copy of the game, but decided she had to throw it away because it got broken. She also was having some issues with her homework for his class, so I had decided to help her out. Her voice, it sounds so beautiful, not to mention kind of cute in a way. That night, I was starting to have a strange yet horrifying dream. I was in the space colony arc, running for my life with a girl by my side. I was panting, sounding really tired as I tried to keep running fast and tightening my grip on the girl's hand. I recognized this. I relive in Shadow's past through his eyes. I was experiencing what he had experienced. I can feel his adrenaline pumping as we keep running for our lives. The girl, Maria, told me to quickly get inside a secret room nearby. I did so. but as she was about to quickly close the door, a gunshot could be heard. I woke up with a fright, screaming her name in honor as I started panting heavily. My heart's beating really quickly as I tried to calm myself down. I then felt something wet near my eyes. I was crying. I was actually crying! I started wiping away my tears with my arm as I looked at the shadow plushie I had rested on my nightstand and frowned. I remember how upset he was. Maria was the only friend he had, and the gun soldier took her life in front of his very eyes. The next day, after school, I was heading back home when someone yelled my name behind me. I looked and almost gasped at who I saw. A beautiful young girl with long light brown hair and sapphire blue eyes, wearing a cyan tank top, a dark purple skirt, and black skinny jeans with a pair of white sneakers, was standing there. She was around the same age as me. She smiled at me, lightly blushing as she said, "It's me, Ria. It's me, Ria." I smiled back at her, happily. "Hey there. Wow. You look really nice," I said, feeling a bit shy. She giggled as she replied, "Thank you, Derek. You look really nice too with your leather jacket." I chuckled a bit. "Well, thanks. My dad got this for me, and I kind of grew attached to it." We continued talking for a minute until I offered her to spend time with me at my house. She agreed, and we started heading to my place. When we got there, my dad wasn't home. He was still at work. I went off to use the bathroom, but then when I went past the bathroom mirror, I thought I saw something in it. Something black. Quickly, I looked at it, but it was nothing. Just my reflection. I looked perfectly normal. Had brown hair, green eyes, and tannish colored skin. I was wearing my leather jacket with my red t-shirt and dark blue worn-out jeans. I wasn't sure what it was, but I didn't worry too much about it. After a few minutes, I started playing Shadow Hedgehog again with Ria watching me. This time, I want to make Shadow a hero. She was helping me through some parts of the game level, and when we finally beat the final boss, we cheered happily. She didn't hug me, causing me to blush. The warmth of her hug felt very relaxing. I could hit my expression from her, and we started playing the 2-player mode before she had to head back home. I kind of felt sad when she left. For some reason, I didn't want her to leave. I had another disturbing dream, but it had gotten worse. I was in Wessopolis, ruined and in flames. All around me were corpses of the gun soldiers I killed when I took the dark path for my first playthrough of the game. I don't know why, but I look at my hands. No, I look at Shadow's hands. They were trembling, covered in blood. I then heard something as I looked behind me. It was the last remaining soldier who was struggling to stay alive. I could hear Shadow's growl of pure anger as I walked towards the soldier. "Please, don't kill me," the soldier weakly begged in fear, clearly not wanting to die. I started to feel sorry for him, but I did notice Shadow's hand aiming his gun at the soldier's head. "Go to hell," I heard him say before he pulled the trigger. I woke up again. It was about 4 a.m. when I checked my alarm clock. I started to question myself. Why was I having those dreams? Why was I seeing things from Shadow's point of view? I was really confused, but I decided to shrug it off and head back to sleep. For the next couple of days, Ria and I have spent a lot of time together after school. We played games, hung out at the park, and even one time went over to her place to meet her parents. They were really nice and they seemed to like me for some reason. I wasn't really sure why. I was just really happy spending time with my new friend. But every night, I kept having that weird dream over and over. Each night, I got them seem to get worse. I even told Ria about those dreams, and even she said it was weird and told me that I shouldn't worry about it. Maybe she's right. They're just dreams after all. What's the worst it could happen? I wish I never said that. Those dreams have become nightmares. I was in what's left of Wessopolis again, but this time this was far different. The Black Comet had already been connected to the surface, and to my horror, I saw Sonic and his friends lifeless on the ground, including Eggman. I suddenly looked down at the ground and started to vomit some blood out of my mouth. I looked at my hands to realize that at this time, they weren't shadows, they were mine. I started trembling, feeling horrified and confused. "What is going on here?" I screamed, not able to comprehend what I was experiencing. "Why is this happening to me? What is the meaning of this?" I then heard a familiar dark voice from behind me. "I see that you're the only survivor." It spoke. It sounded almost as if it was of pure sadness and guilt. I looked behind me to face him. Shadow the Hedgehog. For some reason, I started to feel pain in my throat as I spoke. "What is going on? Why is this happening?" Shadow closed his eyes and turned his back on me. He refused to answer my questions. He appeared to be horribly injured on his left arm, and there were some claw marks on his back as if one of the black arms recently attacked him without any form of warning. Shadow? I asked him again, but this time my foot was hurting even more. I was so confused and scared to the point that I could feel my body shaking uncontrollably. Shadow then lifted his right arm and began to point at something in that direction. I felt sick to my stomach. I didn't want to look, but I did, and I regretted it. My eyes widened in terror when I saw her, lying on the ground. Rhea! I screamed painfully as I gathered enough of the strength I had left to get into my feet and rushed to her side. She looked really pale. She didn't open her eyes or even flinch. I nervously placed my hand on her cheek as I found out that her skin felt very cold. But the moment I tried to feel her pulse, my heart sank. Tears began streaming down my face as I started holding her in my arms. I'm sorry. I could hear Shadow say it with sympathy in his voice. She couldn't be saved. I refused to look at him, hugging Rhea's lifeless body. I could feel my throat tighten as I started crying. Next thing I knew, I was woken by a loud knock on the door. The noise continued rapidly as I heard a voice. Derek! Derek! Open up, please! It was Rhea. She sounded really worried. I quickly took a look at my alarm clock. 2:23 a.m. I don't know why she was here at this time. But I quickly got out of bed, hurried towards the front door, and opened it to my horror. I saw that she was horribly injured on her right shoulder. It appeared to be a stab wound. Her blue eyes were filled with tears of terror as she quickly hugged me and began crying. In response, I quickly brought her inside, shut the door, and locked it as I tried to calm her down. I really wish my father was here when it happened, but he wouldn't return from work until 4:30 that night. Shh, it's okay, Rhea. You're safe now. I said to her as I gently rubbed her back. Please tell me what happened. I heard my mother screamed, she sobbed. I got worried. I went to check to see what's wrong, but then I saw it. She started crying even more. I could tell that she didn't want to say anything else, but I was really confused on what she meant by it. Come on, Rhea. You got to tell me what happened. I want to help you. I told her as I had to look at me so we could make eye contact. Her eyes were filled with fear as her tears kept falling from them. Some black monster was in my parents' room. My mother, my father. They were ripped to shreds. She buried her face in my chest as she started crying harder and tightening her hug for protection. My eyes widened in shock and disbelief. A black monster killed her parents? That sounds very unbelievable, right? Well, I thought it was, until a strange crimson claw smashed through my door's window. Rhea screamed as we saw a black monster with yellow eyes staring at us. Chills went down my spine when I recognized what it was. It was a black oak. The one from this game, the same one from the game. I quickly grabbed Rhea's hand as we started running towards my room. I could hear as it completely smashed the door into pieces, starting running after us. As we made it into my room, I quickly closed the door and we pushed my dresser in front of it. What is a black oak doing here? I yelled, sounding really terrified and confused. It's supposed to be in the game. Rhea just sat on my bed, trembling in great fear, until she saw something in her eyes running in shock. Derek, your game case! She cried. I quickly looked at my game case that was laying on the floor. Shell was missing on the front cover. Any trace of him was completely gone. All we could see was just the title, the rating, the Sega logo, and the exploding background. Where was Shadow? Suddenly, we started to hear a loud banging against my bedroom door as Rhea ran behind me, started trembling. What are we going to do? She cried. I began trembling as well. I was very scared. I don't know what to do. But then, I heard a familiar dark voice echoing in my mind. Escape for the window! Hurry! It yelled urgently. I quickly looked at my window and hurried over to it. Since my room is in the second floor, we couldn't jump out of it, but there was a tree right next to it. Its branches were strong enough to help support our weight. I quickly opened the window and told Rhea to quickly climb out of the window. She nodded, knowing exactly what I meant as she hurried over to the window. I started helping her climb out of the window and grabbed into one of the tree branches. As she got towards the tree's trunk, she quickly climbed down safely and begged me to escape, but when I was about to do so, the black oak broke through my door in my dresser. The next thing I knew was that it slammed me through the window with great force. I could hear Rhea's voice scream my name in horror before everything grew black. I soon woke up on a hospital bed. My vision was so blurry that I could barely make out the people that were in the room. They noticed me waking up as I quickly hear one of them saying, "He's awake! Quickly bring them here!" Within a few minutes, I could hear my father saying my name in relief. I also heard her voice. She sounded as if she was crying. I looked towards them and made a weak smile, but my vision hasn't cleared up yet. Ria bent over and hugged me. Sobbing quickly, I frowned as I weakly hugged her back, trying to cheer up my best friend. It was then I noticed a figure standing next to my dad. When my vision became clear, my eyes widened in shock at who I saw. It was a certain black and red hedgehog with crimson eyes staring at me. Alright guys, so that was Through Shadow's Eyes, a Shadow Hedgehog creepypasta, and this is a pretty good creepypasta, and it has like a small issue, like the whole like these characters that just come out of nowhere out of the game, to attack the protagonist, which is the black oak creature, and then Shadow coming out of nowhere at the end of it. Like, is there an explanation why Shadows is there? But the whole creepypasta, it's pretty good, like, since it's like kind of have like a more tragic stuff, like the protagonist of the story just explained about his mom, about what happens to his mom, and and also which is kind of tragic to think about, since losing a parent is pretty hard to go through, and also the nightmare sequences, like, I think it's a bit cliche, but at least they're kind of not that too cliche, unlike other creepypasta where they had to have like a nightmare sequence involving the game that the protagonist played. Which, yeah, but overall, this is a pretty good creepypasta. Is it as better than the Shadow Hedgehog 2 creepypasta? Kind of, but it has some issues, but yeah. So anywho, I just hope you guys enjoyed this creepypasta reading video, and like and comment this video and subscribe for more content. So this is Mr. Feta here, and have a good night. So bye bye.